I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Trustee Clark.
Present.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Present.
Trustee DeCosta.
Present.
Trustee Carroll.
Present.
Clerk Reyes here. Supervisor Wills.
Present. Okay. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of May 14th, 2024. It's actually the public budget hearing. What is your pleasure?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the May 14th budget hearing.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Heilenbach to approve the minutes of the budget hearing of May 14th, 2024. Is there any discussion, any questions, additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next, we have the minutes of the regular meeting of the Township Board on May 14th, 2024. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 14th, 2024.
I'll second.
I have a motion by trustee DeCosta, seconded by trustee Carroll, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 14th, 2024. Are there any additions, corrections, questions? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you. Communications.
We have none.
Very good. Supervisor's report. I would characterize the past month as cleanup time. We've processed the corrections identified by IMRF in their audit. We've completed what they asked, but now we are asked to go back to whenever any of the errors began to make those corrections. So even one audit by them any earlier would have been very beneficial, but that's life. We have all submitted records as requested by Selden Fox, their team, for our annual audit. And this week, we have one of the auditors in-house going over and requesting additional details. The food pantry participation has been steady. We just started distributing vouchers for the Riverside Farmers Market last week. None were redeemed on that first day, but there were only about 20 issued at that point. As always, I emphasize that these vouchers are only available to participants in our food pantry. No bags, no vouchers. We had a food drop-off from the Central School Best Buddies organization a couple of weeks ago. They made a stop here with donations during their friendship walk. We also received exceptional donations to the pantry this past Saturday during our document shredding event. Thank you for the in-kind and cash contributions. Participation in this event was steady, especially considering there were numerous other events going on at the same time. It is a service the community seems to appreciate. The next shred event is scheduled for Saturday, October 18th, so mark your calendars. The nurse's closet has been very busy lately, as word seems to be spreading. Some general assistance clients are finally getting employment or other benefits they were waiting for have finally been approved. That's good news on all counts, so our numbers should be shrinking soon. There was one more cleanup activity. I received a notice yesterday from the Illinois EPA about filing a form and a fee since we were listed as a large quantity generator due to the bridge sanding residue last year. So we had to file an application to get under their, get in control to begin with, and now we have to pay the piper. We have a $500 fee to pay, and that'll appear on next month's warrants. So I have more forms to fill out that I don't understand. So anyway, that's all I have to report, but I'd gladly answer any questions that you might have.
Is that a one-time fee for
Well,
that?
that's what I'm having to, because as soon as I got the notice, It said something about, well, I gave it to the firm that helped me walk through the original form, and it was an ecology kind of form, organization. And they said, just indicate that it was a one-off thing. So I replied to the person sending me the letter, who immediately replied, well, you would have had to have said that 30 days in advance, and blah, blah, blah. So then I looked at the form that I'd filled out, and I referred back to her to say, I thought that was what I was saying in checking off this box. And I came back with, fill out the form and send the $500.
But they,
So I don't know. Hopefully I can get us
Hopefully.
off of that then.
Yeah.
wasn't it cover, you know?
It was all contained,
Contained.
but this is because it was then, what was contained was then removed and shipped somewhere. So there was lead there, so
disposal.
it has to do with the disposal and, you know, the movement. We didn't do it. I mean, a firm did it that does that, but, you know. So this is one of those things that I'm going to be cleaning up for a little while. Just wanted to let you know when you see that new bill on the,
Supervisor Wiltz, which was the entity? Was it Illinois?
it was the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, who basically uses the federal EPA standards and all that, so. That's about all I have. Anybody else have any questions? Very well, then we will continue. We have the assessor here. Would you like to give us a report?
Good evening, I'm Fran Sitkowitz, the Township Assessor, and I'm here to report the happenings in my office. There have been some issues in the news lately about the Cook County Assessor overvaluing some properties in the Southern Tri. As far as I know, Riverside Township doesn't have very many parcels. I was told by the Board of Review that they suspect between maybe 5 and 10 parcels. So far, they haven't been identified by me. I'm thinking the assessor's office does know which parcels were involved. They're supposed to release that information to me within the next 10 days, probably. So, so if there are any parcels that were involved, I'll be able to work with the owners of those parcels. It mostly involved parcels where there was a lot of land or only land and no improvements. So it seemed that those were the majority of parcels that might have been involved in this overvaluation. I did identify one parcel in Riverside Lawn that was valued at 600% more than it was in 2022. And it's unimproved land. And most of it is in the swamp back there. So they're just unaware of what's going on with these unique parcels, I think. So, so once all the parcels have been released to me, then we'll be able to figure out how we can help people going forward. But I'm not anticipating a lot of them, because we don't have very many parcels that are land only, and we don't have very many parcels that have over 20,000 square feet, which it seems to be where it seems to be affecting most parcels. So, so we'll just take that as it comes. And tax bills are scheduled to be out on time. The Cook County Treasurer's Office is anticipating mailing them by June 30th. They usually post them online 10 days or so beforehand, so we should be able to see them online in the next couple of weeks. And so we're anticipating, we have been working a lot on certificates of error, and we tried really hard to get everyone, we had a lot of new homeowners, and we tried to get them to get their homeowner exemptions in on time, but, you know, we always have certificates of error, and we already saw that there were some applications that were made that weren't processed by the assessor's office. So I'm sure we'll be busy with corrected tax bills over the next month, and then I'm sure the Board of Review will be opening in July. So it's going to be a busy summer at the assessor's office. We'll have a lot of visitors coming in. And, but besides from that, I look forward to seeing everyone Thursday night at the TAC conference. And that's my report. Any questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Fran.
All right, trustees. Trustee Clark?
Thank you, Supervisor. My only report is the exercise class continues to go well. And I had a good time yesterday playing in the Mayor of North Riverside's golf outing.
Okay.
Turned out to be a really great day. And then the talk meeting on Thursday. I'm moderating the mental health seminar.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions? Trustee Heilenbach.
Hi, good evening, trustees. I'd like to report on the Mental Health Board. The Health and Wellness Fair was held last Saturday, and we did not get the turnout that we were hoping for. It was down from last year. There was a lot of activities going on, including the Township Shredding event. Raw was going on. So we've had some preliminary discussions about maybe moving it to a fall, which, you know, plus 3 weeks, was it 3 weeks ago?
About 3 weeks after.
3 weeks ago was the North Riverside Senior Fair. And a lot of the same vendors were there. The good news is the vendors, they still loved it. You know, they got to connect with several people. So we'll jiggle it around and probably move it to the fall. We had 28 vendors. It worked out. My thanks to the Village of North Riverside for providing the space. As always, whenever we've asked them for anything, they have provided for us, and I do appreciate it. The next item is the teen texting program is up and running at Hauser. They have blitzed them with the information and, given the kids, stickers and stuff, their posters are up. We should be getting a report of how that's working. So I look forward to that report, but it is up and going. The next item is our grant applications. We have grant applications, and it's not the application itself, it's the response to the application. And we want to streamline that. We get some applications, by the time you get to the bottom line on what they're asking for, you've gone through sometimes 15, 20 pages of, their achievements. We want to streamline that process. We want to know, how much money do you want? What have you done with the money that you've gotten? And where are you going, what are you going to do with this money now? So I think that process, we have a meeting tomorrow night on that, and I will give you a report once it's done. And that we're shooting for October, so we can get it before the next grant cycle. Our next meeting is June 19th at 6 o'clock. Hope some of you can attend. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Then trustee Carroll? Anything?
No reports today.
Okay. Trustee DeCassola?
Thank you, Supervisor. I just want to comment on the shredding event. It was a great positive response. I don't think there was very much downtime. It was very well received by our community. Great service. Thank you.
How much, do we know how many pounds?
I
Did they
forgot
tell
to,
us?
usually
He gives the readout,
he usually
right?
gives me a number. He didn't give it to any of you, did he?
No.
I didn't, and I texted him afterwards, and he'd probably already been to the dump with it, so. So I'm afraid I don't know this time, but we did have a steady flow, you're
And
absolutely
there were
right.
a couple of heavy hitters who had to pull off.
Yes, there
because
was.
they had packed their
Yes, there were. And they've been spoken
Need to get
to.
out of line, sir. Go park over there.
We're going to have to talk to one of those, Debbie.
Well, I already did, and made it clear
Yeah,
that.
she made the ultimate sacrifice. The shred event, poor truck.
Oh, dear. Anyway,
It seems like this time they had 3 containers for us to fill up, which I think was better.
it kept moving better.
It kept moving better rather than the 2.
Yeah.
Especially with the response that was out there, yeah. There's a lot of people.
I feel sorry for those people that have been living with those boxes for so long. 1964 receipts, and I'm
Oh,
like, oh my
wow.
gosh, let's get rid of these. You know,
Somebody's clearing out ground.
take your house back. Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to eliminate myself. Oh, all right. Well, thank you very much, trustees. And let's see, let's move on then to the next item on the agenda. We don't have any unfinished business, so we're going to new business. And under A, we have special event requests. We have one from the St. Elmo Commandery, 64, for a benefit concert fundraiser. If you look at the actual form in your packets, you'll note that after the agenda was printed, they've changed their date because of when the band was available. So the date is, rather than the September 21st date, it would be August 31st that they are requesting. You have a note from the organizer of the event, and also I would speak to this. This is actually the Masonic Lodge,
Right.
who has hosted us for shred events ever since 2020, and usually twice a year since then. And they've never charged us a penny. They always have coffee brewed for us. They always are ready to set up for us. And I would encourage the board to authorize a waiver of the fees. We can certainly keep the deposit just in case, as we have before, but I would encourage us to consider, we've never given anything in return, and this would be our opportunity.
I make a motion that we waive the fees and approve this request.
I'll second.
I have a motion by trustee Hollenbach, seconded by,
Discussion.
yes.
We're
After.
not-
We will, after the motion, we can,
After that,
yeah.
yeah.
I have a motion by
Point of order.
trustee Hollenbach, seconded by trustee Carroll, and it's now open for discussion. Yes,
They still have to get the
have
insurance for
to-
the alcohol. I wanna-
absolutely. They have to follow all the other rules. We would just be waiving the fees, other than, like I said, I think a deposit is always a good thing to have, just in case. So I have a motion, and that would be to waive fees and to approve the request. Any other questions or discussion? Then, since there are fees involved here, I would ask the clerk to call the roll.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee DeCosta,
Yes.
supervisor Wilt.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion is approved. And then the next item is the Riverside Friends of the Library is requesting space for their Harvest Bingo fundraiser. Are you here to speak to that?
President of the Friends of the Library Board, and this is an event we've been doing for 12 years or more. Totally appreciate being able to host it here upstairs the last couple of years. That's allowed us to have more people attend, and as a result, also raise more money for the library. This is the event where we get money to fund the entire summer reading program here, this year we went and gave $5,000 from this for extra programming for the library that they wouldn't have been able to do. So first, please, in terms of approving the permit and allowing us to have alcohol BYOB as we have in other years, which we've got insurance in through the library and everything taken care of. And then if you can, if it makes sense, we'd love it if you could waive the fee for us on this. And we've always been good citizens and cleaned up, so we get our deposit back. You can count on that again this year. So, thank you.
What is your pleasure? Do I have a motion?
Questions? Yes?
Okay.
Lindsay, is this the first year you had BYOB, or has it always been that way?
It's always been that, yeah.
Okay.
Remember that.
From when it was at the library as well.
Okay, but we still require the insurance on that?
Because there's
Okay.
alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, on the premises, yes, yes. Okay, any other questions? Then I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the Friends of the Library's request.
In the approval of the event, and what about the fees, the fee waiver?
Both.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee DeCassola, to approve the Riverside Friends of the Library event for October 12th for the use of the building and waiver of fees, but we ask for the security deposit, and as you can see, the insurance has already been provided. So that is the motion, and would Clerk Reyes please call the roll?
Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes,
Motion carries.
motion is carried, thank you. You're welcome, thank you. Okay, the next issue is, we've already approved our calendar for the year. However, I'm going to be out of the country, hopefully, on the 4th of July, and on the 5th of July as well. And I've had 2 out of 3 employees request that day off already. The village is open, so the exercise class could potentially keep going. But I would ask if you would object to us closing on the 5th as well as the 4th. Normally, I'm here as backup. If there's just one employee here, it's a part-timer who's going to be here, and should something happen, she's got a small child, I wouldn't want to close without warning. So I
I don't
wouldn't,
have a problem with that. Do you need a motion or?
I would appreciate it, since it's something that's already been posted as, bless you, as open, and it would be a change to the calendar, I would appreciate that.
I'll make a motion that we close the township offices on the 4th and 5th of July
Okay.
this year.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Carroll, seconded by trustee DeCassola, to close the township offices on the 4th and 5th of July. Any discussion?
I like our austerity bill. That's what I'm calling it. Saving some money.
Okay. So would the clerk please, let's call the roll, just to keep it clean.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes, motion is carried. Thank you very much.
I was working on something else.
Your mind was on the next item, right?
It was a heady bill. There's like a lot to bring in on it.
Are we usually closed on the 4th anyway?
Yeah.
We're always closed on the 4th, and that's in the calendar
now we're double
already.
closed.
Now
But
we're
it's
double
just,
closed.
since it's a Thursday, that Friday is awkward, we did check with the village, did they anticipate closing? Because sometimes they pull one out of the air and all of a sudden they close. So far, there's no such plan, but, we're still
That may
3
change
weeks out,
quickly,
so who
yeah.
I feel
knows?
like I gotta take a.
And, so many people take off work on that Friday.
Exactly.
Because then they get a long 4-day weekend.
I think many people just assume you're going to be closed, so the only thing is we'll have to warn food pantry people, we won't be here Friday either, but that's all right.
But we'll post a notice, right?
Yes,
on the door,
absolutely,
like
absolutely. All right, well, thank you very much. The other items we have, until we get to the nitty-gritty of money, is for your information, I'm reminding you that we are now signed up, since it was approved last month, for all 3 parades. Again, I won't be in town, so I need people to volunteer to take the lead on it. I trust that we're going to be using your car, trustee Heilenbach?
Yes, that is correct.
And you already provide, they always want insurance in Brookfield. They want proof of insurance on that vehicle.
Absolutely, I can do that.
Okay,
So
so
do I bring that to you?
if you could leave it with Andrew, or you can make a copy even, and so that we have that proof of insurance to send them, then we will be copacetic. I do note that my contact information is on here, but the day of, it would be good to have another, so we will let them know. Can we, since you'll be taking the lead in Brookfield?
I can do Riverside
Okay.
also.
Okay, very good, so,
Be happy to.
all right, so, Heilenbach, and then who will take the lead in North Riverside?
I can.
I'm sorry, okay, and then whose vehicles will you be using? We know we'll be using one of yours, and is there anybody else whose vehicle we're using?
I can use mine for North Riverside.
Okay, and would you do it for Riverside too? What we usually do is Riverside and then
Yeah,
head
that's
over
fine.
to the other two?
Both of them?
Okay, very good. Very good, I appreciate that, so.
And you'll leave the
all the things will be prepared,
The metal signs.
the magnetic signs, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have the magnetic signs ready, and all the beads are already in the office, so somebody will have to come and pick those up that morning or before. And other than that, if you want to decorate your cars in
Is
any
it
other
half
way.
per parade, or how would we do that?
How's that, what?
How many boxes did we need per parade? Do you remember?
We load them all up, because then you go off, and Brookfield is a very long parade, so
It is.
I would recommend a little heavier on Brookfield, and, so you'll see what you go through for Riverside. Riverside's pretty long and pretty crowded. North Riverside, you never know what you're going to get, and it's long enough, but it can be sporadic in places because there's no homes there, so,
Constituent was asking.
okay.
Jack. I'll be passing these out, right? Yeah, we're passing.
Yes, all good. We appreciate the help of family and friends, so. All right, then, we're all set, and we know what cars will be used, where, and, again, check back with staff, and they'll make sure you have everything you need, okay? Then talk, you've heard twice already, we have the conference this Thursday. It looks like a very good program, so I'm looking forward to it, and I hope all of you are as well. And then there are still the Township Officials of Illinois workshops. So if you want to sign up for those, if you like, we can do the registration for you. And, but you need to let us know which one and you want to go to. Okay, we are up to,
Supervisor?
yes,
There are also district events.
Yes.
Too, so,
all of that should be in your prospective
magazine.
magazine, so please check that and do let us know. We can register for you if you want.
And I will be attending the July 19th and the August 9th.
Oh, okay. Do we need to register you? Are you registered
I don't think so, but let me
already?
double check on that.
Okay,
And I do also have an article in the Perspective magazine this month,
oh,
under the Trustees Corner.
I haven't.
Page
I didn't even, I will look, I noticed, I was looking at the
Signing
pic,
copies?
I will be.
Can we have an
I'm gonna
8x10
booth.
glossy of it, please?
I was looking at the pictures from the legislative day and from the lobby day, and I didn't see you anywhere, and I know you were there, so I figured you were the photographer.
I'm going to tell you,
Maybe.
I miss that picture on the steps every year. And I'm sitting there waiting. And, and they tell me 3 o'clock, and so I go out there at 3 o'clock and they're done. So now I have to, now I know I have to.
You have to tag along with somebody who's
take it
definitely
in?
going to be in it. Yeah, I looked and looked and couldn't find you.
Yeah, I was not.
Oh, boy.
And it wasn't that, I'd been sitting in the lobby, waiting, and, 3 o'clock, I go out there, and they're all done.
There you go.
It's like,
There you go.
and that happened, I will have to say that happened. like
Tell
2 or
trustee
3
Clark,
years.
3 o'clock, everyone else be there at 2:45.
But I was there, with 5,000
I
of my
know
friends.
that you were there. You brought back information, so I know you were there. Oh, well, all right, well, thank you. We are on to the approval of warrants.
All right. I move that the board authorize and ratify payment of the bills identified on the general warrant dated June 2024, the amount of $18,542.91 is presented to this board on this 11th day of June, 2024.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, go ahead, Matt.
I heard Clark first, so. All right, I have a motion by trustee Carroll, seconded by trustee Clark, to approve the general warrants for June 2024 in the amount of $18,542.91. Are there any questions about the warrants or any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, then Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
Trustee Heilenbach,
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta,
Yes.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I would like to make a second motion that this board ratify and authorize payment of the amounts indicated on the following warrants. For the utility warrant dated June 2024 in the amount of $1,379.19. The payroll warrant dated June 2024 in the amount of $19,367.95. The health warrant, also dated June 2024, in the amount of $3,359.76. What is this? What is that?
Grants?
Grants.
Oh, I changed it
Or
to
partner- it's
partnership.
partnership.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
partnerships, the partnerships warrant, formerly known as the grants warrant, in the amount of $225. The general assistance warrant dated June 2024 in the amount of $7,429.89. The Township Radio Players warrant dated June 2024 in the amount of $250. And the
I'm
food
sorry,
payroll-
you know what? That was my error, 200. It's
$200.
Yes.
I will withdraw that motion and enter a motion for $200. Again, for the Township Radio Players warrant in the amount of $200 dated June 2024. And the food pantry warrant dated June 2024 in the amount of $248.39. All of the above presented to the board today, the 11th day of June, 2024.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Carroll, seconded by trustee DeCassola, to approve the following warrants, all for June 2024. The utility warrant in the amount of $1,379.19. Payroll warrant in the amount of $19,367.95. The health warrant in the amount of $3,359.76. The partnership warrant in the amount of $225. The general assistance warrant in the amount of $7,429.89. The Township Radio Players warrant in the amount of $200. Food pantry warrant in the amount of $248.39. Are there any questions, additions, corrections? Hearing none, then Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta,
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes. Motion is carried. Thank you.
Way at all.
And that concludes, are there any public comments? Hearing none, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Heilenbach, to adjourn this meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you very much.